Okay, what we have here is a Dell D630. So, what we're going to do is take and turn this system on and see what happens. So, we're turning it on and we have power, but we have no video. But what we do see is the way the screen is lit up, we actually have backlight on the actual screen. So like this, you can't really tell, but like this, the screen actually lights up, and it appears that the system's running. We have a number lock here that's actually turned on, and for the days of which you could test your system, you press the number lock key, and if it turns on and off, that means it's not locked up. But we see no hard drive activity. We see nothing like that. So what we're going to do is take our external monitor, which we have right here. We're going to turn it on, and we're going to close the lid down a little bit and hook our external monitor up and see what we find as far as video. So we have a blue light there that goes to an amber light. We're going to take and do our FN F8 to sync our CRT, and we've actually synced it. So excuse me, what we have is input not supported for the screen, and we actually have our hard drive running here, and we have video. So what we're seeing here as far as our video is we have Vista startup here, but we have lines, which these lines are artifacting due to a failed chipset. So what we're going to do is see if this system will actually start up into Windows and what kind of output we get. So what we have here seems to be a perfect example of it starting up perfectly fine. No lines, no artifacting, no scrolling, nothing as far as that's concerned. We could do an FN F8 to change back to the screen. And let's see if we get anything displayed on the screen, which we do not. But we can actually try to sync it back to this screen, and we'll see if we actually get anything back, which we have not. So we know that the issue is probably GPU related. So what we're going to do is take the machine apart to reflow it and go from there. But as a case in point, if you have a system that doesn't display internally, but you can sync it and it'll display externally, or maybe it doesn't display externally, getting a light like that on the screen where it looks like this, where you have a backlight, is a pretty good example that you may still have a BGA issue. So what we're going to do is turn this off, move everything out of the way, and then go from there to reflow the unit as we planned from the very beginning to fix this machine. So that's what we're going to do. Take it apart and then go into the actual process of repairing it. Okay, so what we're going to do is reflow this chipset and then these memory modules, and or VRAMs, and then after that we're going to, since I seem to have forgotten to take this off, we're going to get to this chipset and then get to the chipset underneath here. So what we're going to do is position this over top and lower it down, and then we're going to turn on the light. So need to lower it down just a little bit more and then move this over. So now we have it where we're actually reflowing the system right now. So we're going to let this go on, and then we're going to move to the VRAMs afterwards, and then go to the next chips after that. So hopefully this will fix it, but in our error what we did was forget to take these two pieces off because we're in a hurry. So I will move to that next. Okay, so we have our laptop back together. Let's turn it on and see what we get. Appears that we have a fully functioning system here. So it says that the date and time's wrong, blah 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 blah. So it's because the clock battery had to be pulled out. The BIOS battery is attached to the trackpad. So what we're going to do is let this boot up, and then we're going to check the trackpad and mouse buttons here to see if they work, that we didn't miss anything plugging it in. And then we're going to run it through our 3-hour burn-in to see if we can't burn it in and make sure everything's good with that. Now of course we can't log it in. We tried that earlier, so we know that the login doesn't work because it has password on it, so we can't go anywhere past there. But what we're going to allow it to do is start up so that we can check that trackpad and then perform the burn in and do everything we need to do as far as that's concerned. So we have the boot, and now we're going to check the trackpad. Trackpad seems to be working fine, and we're going to check the click. There we go. So we know that the trackpad and the buttons work. So we're going to shut it down, then restart it, go into BIOS, and let it run its burn in, and then we'll call it complete. Actually right now we're going to say it's complete except for the burn in, but we'll do that here in a minute.